Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 15th episode of the Fans of DC Universe podcast, the only DCU podcast for the fans, by the fans, and the best source for all DC Universe news and discussion on everything DCU. Joining us today, I can't read this podcast script to save my life. Today we are discussing an exclusive announcement, the Community Shutdown, Titans Episode 6, and more. But first, joining us today are me, Nathan.Payson, TornadoSoup, debuting on the podcast. Say hi.
Hi.
Aurora, debuting on the podcast.
Hello.
And the wonderful Donnell.
Glad to be here, buddy.
Hey, Don. I should start calling you Don. I like that better. Okay.
Did you see that there's the opposite of the L family that joined our Discord chat?
No, it did not. But this is
Zod. So we have a Zod person that joined, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Okay. Wow, this is going great, you guys. So before we start, we have a special announcement to make, okay? For the longest time, I've been teasing something really big, and I can finally tell you that baked beans are the best kind of bean. Okay, obviously that's not the big announcement, but I can tell you that we have the first big announcement about Community Week right here. A Fans of DC Universe exclusive. Bum-ba-da-bum. I don't know, how does that sound? We had to work on our
really good.
Here. Oh, awesome. Okay. On the Saturday of Community Week, we will be releasing an interview with the legendary Applejack about all sorts of stuff. And we're so excited to be a part of the Community Week, and we can't wait to talk with the wonderful Applejack. We'll be talking about Community Week later, but first, let's talk about Titans Episode 6, Connor.
I do want to emphasize again, Nathan, that will be, I believe, either October 25th or 26th, correct?
It's the 26th is when it will go up, early that day.
Perfect. We'll look forward to it.
Yes. And let's talk about Titans Episode 6, Connor, which debuts on the post-credit scene, which follows up on the post-credit scene at the end of Season 1, before making its way through a bunch of big reveals. So, what did you think about Titans Episode 6?
Go ahead, Aurora.
I think this has definitely been one of the more interesting episodes.
Yeah. How so?
Sorry, I was coughing. I have a little bit of a cold.
It's okay. How so?
I was really, really surprised.
I loved it. I thought it was the best episode of the season so far.
Oh yeah, it seemed like they went right into things, and I was starting to wonder where they were going to end up tying it in, and it ended up ending like I thought it would.
Yeah. Okay, is anyone surprised by that ending?
Not a bit. Not even a tiny bit. As soon as I saw the name of the next episode, I was like, only thing I was holding out for, Nathan, was I was hoping that the doggy would save him instead of Connor. TornadoSoup, what did you think of the episode, man?
I thought it was really good. Like it felt a little weird because up to this point it's been mostly Batman flavored stuff with like just a little bit of Wonder Woman sprinkled in, and then all of a sudden it's just all the Superman stuff, just like right away. Which I mean, it was cool, and in an episode about Superboy, I guess that's what should be expected. But it was just, it's not. I don't know. I feel like they could have done it a little more drawn out, like how.
Really? You wanted them to extend it more? You're saying it felt a little rushed?
Yeah, because it almost feels like there were things that you wish they would have had more time to do in the episode. Like, I would have liked to have had him actually find the Kent farm and, do a little bit more exploring and before things went kaboom.
Yeah, that's fair. But I did feel like
I think it could have.
Go ahead. Okay, well, I did feel like it was a great step forward for the world building because, like, we got
Yeah, definitely.
Superman, we got Superman teasing, we got Superman powers, we got we got Lex Luthor teases, we got Mercy because of course Mercy is the iconic character. You need Mercy before you can get Lex, as every show ever has proved. That's not true. Only Supergirl has, but that's okay. Mercy before, but so that's great. We got who else did we get? We got Lena Luthor. We saw a picture of Martha Kent, who was looking really young. And did we get any other big new character reveals? I mean, we got the entirety
Well,
of
of course,
Katniss.
Crypto. I mean, if they can't
Oh
figure out how
yeah,
to keep Connor and Crypto, they're out of their minds. I just want to see what the dog's going to.
everyone's
It's like
favorite
let
dog.
that poor doggy go.
What? Oh, with the kryptonite collar at the end.
Yes, let that poor doggy go.
Aw.
Poor doggy. He's got eyes that burn.
Yeah, he like caught a missile, like rocket, and then like killed someone with it. So I don't think he's I don't think he's a helpless like poor doggy.
But he caught it like a frisbee. He was just trying to play.
He
It's
did.
Yes.
It was so adorable. Man, I loved that. That was
Well,
like
he's
Crypto
also a
was
great
fun.
straight man. Did you notice? You would have all of Connor talking to him, and that dog with just that straight face just really made the scene.
Yeah, it was a funny episode. Like, shout out to Joshua Orphan, who did a fantastic job, like being in like having his character like work really well and be really fun. Because
Now, was
like
that supposed to be San Francisco at the beginning, where he's getting the shirt and getting the money from the lady? Was
I
that
don't
San
know.
Francisco or some other place?
I think that was Metropolis. They were in then.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So now we've seen Metropolis.
So how did he get to San Francisco then?
Yeah, good. Well, he was running, obviously on the run, but
Well, I know
maybe
he got
that
as far as
facility.
Kansas on the bus.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder if that facility wasn't in San Francisco. They had the horrible chemicals.
I mean, it must have been.
Yeah.
Why though?
I think it was, and then because I remember like the San Francisco location card coming up around at some point. I don't remember if it was
Right.
for sure at the chemical plant or when he was just about to save Jason, but
So then here's what throws me off, okay? They went all the way across the country in one episode.
Yeah. That's why I said it really did feel rushed.
Well, frankly, it also felt like a computer spat it out. In other words, it was highly predictable. The story was. It didn't exactly deviate from the usual legend.
Yeah. But I thought it was really fun. Like, I think the characterization of
No
Connor was
question.
really fun. There were a couple really great moments. My favorite being he's like, the Superman comes out in him and he like saves a woman who's like being harassed by a man, like a thief trying to like steal money off of her. And then he like saves them and he's like, then she says, like, you were trying to take my money? Wait, he was trying to take my money. And Super Connor was like, you have money? He's like, give it to me. She's like, okay. And then Connor just walks up with the money. And probably the woman lost more money because of Connor than because of the burglar.
Well, at least she didn't get hurt or killed, I guess. But what's funny is he asked for the money in a way. It's almost like he didn't really rob.
Yeah.
Joshua Orphan did a really good job of making it like he was just a kid asking for money. He didn't really understand what was going on, which I thought
Or
was
even
really
really
cool.
what was money. I wonder if he even knew what money was.
Probably had no idea.
He knew he needed,
and yet he knows physics. I mean, it's interesting. And by the way, I really don't buy the idea that you get memories from genetics. That's ridiculous. But still,
Nah, it's a bunch of
cool
BS.
that he's got their memories. Maybe it's a spiritual thing,
But for all we know, maybe because of the way the genes were created, it's possible. But of course, the memories aren't in the genes; they're in the. So I don't know.
Well, you know what that
maybe
gets to, and this is where things get really crazy if you've studied any of Carl Jung's stuff. The idea of like we have this history in our brains from previous generations, kind of wildness, where there's this sort of echo in our minds of the minds of people from a million years ago. Who knows?
I don't buy it. Unless, okay, the only argument that could be made is if it was brain tissue and not DNA specifically.
Right. So they're saying as it builds the brain tissue, somehow part of that building is the chemicals that would make you remember this stuff. You got to wonder. It is fascinating. Maybe we'll go play with some inchworms later and see.
I think it's just, but look, guys, it's comic science. Let's not get too deep into it. I mean, this is a world.
Right, so what if?
This is a world where what's his name? Soup Connor is the product of two males. I mean, which isn't scientifically possible yet. So, I don't know.
Now, they have created in some labs somewhere children that are the DNA has been spliced together from 3 parents.
Right. I've seen that too.
Yes, this is actual, modern science where they've gene edited babies to have 3 parents now.
Wait, 3-parent babies?
Yes, it's been done.
With
where
humans?
they actually take chromosomes
Yes.
from each, right?
Okay,
Yes.
I have a lot of questions. Is it what would be when would the parent want to have their child having 3 parents?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. In the United States, that's not happening. And as I watched this, I kept thinking to myself, Lord only knows, like that scene where it shows all those giant bats with all these half-formed people. That's probably happening in some like Thailand or something. You know what I mean? Where there are no restrictions for science.
I don't think that genetics are that far along. I mean, I could be completely wrong.
Oh, it was an actual headline.
No, I believe you, Aurora. My question is, okay, just broadening this picture. We're going in a little broad here, but what circumstance would have a parent who 3 parents who want to have the child together?
Well, they wouldn't. They would have just contributed DNA, and then somebody in a lab has fun.
Right, but I'm a little confused about how this baby got made. That's okay.
Well, take for
let's not worry too
example,
much
it
about
could be people that.
Dawn, breaking news. Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news!
All right,
The Legion of Superhero. Wait, okay. The Legion of Superhero #3 cover has been released. It's a picture of the Robin Batman symbol being held by a batarang with what might be Damian. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Is Damian joining the Legion of Superheroes?
Oh, that's too crazy.
I feel like now it has to happen because we need our Super Sons still,
I know you're and by the way, I'm very convinced that Bendis is reading everything you say on DC Community.
I am so critical of Bendis, you guys, and I read every single thing he's written on DC. It's really bad. I'm like,
he
Bendis
is absolutely watching.
That.
I'm sure that's why he started Legion. He saw my petition. He said, "Whatever Donnell says, we're doing it."
I just love the idea. But see, I want him to lead Superman, so he's not doing that. So I don't know. I kind of just want Tomasi to take back over. It's okay. Oh my god. Do we even want to talk about 5G? We'll get into it later.
Oh,
do you guys
I don't
want
know.
to
That's
talk
so
about 5G?
Controversial. Is it?
Oh my god.
Is it even news? Is it rumor or is it for real?
I think it's for real in some degree. I think DC's working on something called 5G. What it is, I don't think anyone knows.
Like I said, I'll be thrilled to death if you want to bring this up. I like the theory that they're going to keep everything the way it is for the regular comics, but they're going to do it like Marvel did with 2099, right? Where they're going to do a jump of maybe even 10 or 15, 20 years in the future, where now they show where Jonathan Kent is now Superman, for example, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with your enjoyment of the current series.
Yeah. I don't mind either way. I just We'll
Well,
talk.
comics
Okay.
are not novels, is what I keep saying.
Yeah.
I understand
Well,
in a
yeah.
novel, right, Aurora, you've got to have the movement. But comics
Hmm.
like The Shadow and all that, they don't age. That's not the concept. Peanuts. Charlie Brown is still a kid, right?
Yeah, he is. But let's go back to Connor. We digress. So, we had breaking news interrupt us. But going back to Connor, is this the best episode of the season? I think it is.
I think it's a tough call because it was so singular, right? To me, the best episodes are going to be ones where all the Titans are there, most of them. This was just about him.
Really? You think it's
So
the ensemble or the best episodes?
I think well, sure, that's why we're here to go to watch the Titans. I mean, it was a great episode, no doubt, but I think the episode before had a lot going for it too.
It did. I mean, Tornado Soup. Do you have any opinion?
To me, it felt more like a pilot for a Superboy spinoff than an actual episode of Titans. So, like, if it had been a spinoff, like a pilot for its own show, I think it would have been perfect. As a Titans episode, while it was still really good, it was lacking on actual Titans.
So you're saying if this had been a pilot, it would have gotten a higher score in your mind, but because it's not a pilot, it got a lower score.
Like
Because it's
in comparison to other Titans episodes, because it's
okay.
it's
I get
still a
it.
really good episode. It's just
Do you think it's a backdoor pilot, or do
I
you
think
think
that'd
it's
be
more,
cool.
or do you think it's more in the veins of like Hawk and Dove? That episode, or what was it called? It wasn't called Hawk and Dove.
No, I agree. I think it's more like those singular episodes of last season where you're introduced to a character. But what Tornado Soup is saying is kind of the same idea I'm saying too. What we like about the other episodes of the Titans is it's a little more mature. You've got people in romantic relationships. You've got family, all this cool stuff going on. With this, it was a little more barren as far as relationship type storytelling. Well, but what do you think, Aurora? You're the writer among us.
I think as far as the attention to character detail, I mean, they did really, really well with it. As far as, just focusing on, making him like the main focus and actually pulling you like into that, believability with it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how would he, how would he act? How would he react? I mean, total fish out of water situation, like they were saying. It's like he was born 10 minutes ago. He knows absolutely nothing. He's curious about everything. Okay, where do I come from? Who am I? How does the world work? I mean, they did a good job at, capturing at least that angle of things, I think.
Do you wish he had been a little more innocent? Because he felt a
A
little too
little,
knowledgeable.
yeah. And like I said, I almost wanted them to take more time, and it's like, sure, there was so much stuff that focused on the Luther side of things that you almost wish he could have met, the Clark Kent side, and seen, that half of things, to have some contrast there and something to compare. Okay, he's like, okay, what am I? Am I this guy? Am I that guy? All he knows about Superman is, okay, people really like him. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
so he's wondering all of a sudden, okay, am I this horrible person, just because of one side of things, and you wish he would have had the time to get to know more of the other, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
I agree as well.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
give you guys a sense of where the series was going. So there was a leak that revealed like the episode names for everything coming up. So I could just give. So I'm just going to give you guys some perspective. And then this leak has gotten everything right so far, so up to the first 6 episode names. So I'm assuming it's true, which means episode 7 is called Bruce Wayne, and episode 8 is called Jericho. 9 is Atonement, and 10 is Fallen.
I knew it. I'm telling you, Deathstroke is possessed by his son.
You think that's what episode 8's going to be about?
Yeah, so I'm sure that the son that obviously passed away didn't really die, but instead, just like in the comics, possessed his dad.
I was thinking that same thing. I kind of wondered if they were going that route, like in the Jeff Johns run.
Wait, in the Jeff Johns run, did Jericho possess Deathstroke?
Yeah,
Yep, and then Deathstroke's doing all kinds of horrible things he wouldn't normally do.
I feel like Deathstroke does all sorts of horrible things. It's hard for me to say that Deathstroke doesn't do horrible things.
he does have kind of a
I
moral
guess, but
compass.
Does he,
and
though?
he's an adult, and he doesn't let his emotions get a hold of him when it's really desperate.
I mean, I've never seen a Deathstroke who has a moral compass, and maybe that's just my problem. But like Slade Wilson, Arrowverse, okay? Completely no moral compass. He like flat out kills
Even
Mara and it's like choose.
but later he teams up with Arrow, right? In the later seasons, he's a good guy.
Later, sort of a good guy. I mean, he's more of an anti-hero who's only gets doing it partly because he gets a chance to stay out of prison.
He's really a nice.
What?
He's really a nice guy.
Okay, I don't believe it for 1 second. But I think the Jericho episode will be like going back to like the Aqualad episode where like it was about the big like what happened and like Aqualad's death. And I think it'll be the second part of that. My guess is it'll be 3 parts.
And I think the thing that really sucked about that episode is they had to make him so darn likable and then just kill him off that quick.
Oh, you liked him?
Yeah, I
he
actually
was
rather
fine.
liked him.
So, what did you like so much about him?
I mean, the personality, you wanted to, I don't know about you, but it made me, want to know more about, this particular version of the character. And it was like, oh yeah, I might actually be starting to like this guy. And all of a sudden, bam. He's toast. It's like, why introduce a character if you're just going to kill him that fast?
Yeah, I get it.
Well, that's my worry for Connor. After they did that, I'm concerned that he might be dead.
I had that thought. Oh my god, I was like, are they just gonna kill out Connor right after introducing him? Like, because they just did that to Aqualad, and then like Connor gets shot with kryptonite bullets. And last I checked, Superman doesn't exactly recover from getting shot by kryptonite bullets. Ever.
What makes me really sensitive to this is I'm a big Legion fan. Legion's famous for killing off its characters. Oh, look, we got 50 superheroes. I've got an idea.
It's like hero death roulette. Who do we kill this issue?
How do we get some sales this week?
I think we're going to kill Jericho next. I think that's not a shocker.
Well, he's already dead, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But is he really? I don't think so.
I don't know. You guys have more knowledge on this Jericho comic, on this Deathstroke comic by Jeff Johns than I do. So I'm going to trust you guys.
Nathan, you've got to promise us you're going to look this up and speed read it before we meet again.
I don't have the chance to speed read this stuff, you guys. I'm reading so much stuff right now, and I'm doing 5 AP classes.
Just use the Roku.
And I have to do all my college applications. I do not have time to use. I don't have a Roku.
We do have a Roku. Tell you what, we'll take a collection.
Also, it's not like they're going to read me the comics while I write my college applications. I need to get them in.
Nathan, we'll do a GoFundMe to get you a $30 Roku stick.
Oh my god.
Alright, so just think about it this way. In the end, Jeff Johns is more important than college. So just like throw all that away and just read Teen Titans.
All of you people listening, we want you to send money to Nathan so he can buy a Roku stick and so he can watch the comics.
But I will never tell you how to send it to me. So just send it to a random stranger and assume it'll get to me.
We're going to set up a special PayPal account. Stay tuned for details.
But I don't have a PayPal account, so that's not going to work. Why are you so insistent I get a Roku? Oh my god.
I can't believe you're not using Roku for DCU. I mean, that's why we're all on it, so that we can Okay,
What?
let's go around the room quickly. Aurora, do you watch DCU with a Roku at all?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. Okay, well, there's that. How about you, Tornado Soup?
I use a Fire Stick, but it's the same purpose.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have my desktop, I have my iPad, I have my phone. Um,
So that
See,
I
means you
have
can't
an
do
Apple
the
TV.
autoplay.
is it on
I
Apple?
So
Is it on Apple TV, Aurora?
I have Apple TV, and I also have a Firebox. The
So
Apple
yeah, you
TV,
have all sorts
yeah,
of ways to watch it. I don't.
yeah.
I can't watch. I can't use DC Universe on my TV yet because I don't have a Google Chrome. I don't have a Chromecast or a Roku or an Apple TV or a Fire Stick.
oh man, you're killing us here, buddy. Spending all
Yeah,
this money on
just
graphic
come
novels
to
when you could just pick
Switch.
up a.
Come to Switch, please. There you go. That's my plea. Because if it comes to Switch,
Well,
then I
I'm
can watch
just
on my
saying,
TV.
it is just so amazing though when you can put the comics on autoplay, you can set how fast it is. We were actually New 52 and I have been talking about having watch-alongs with the auto comics and just
I
get on the
don't
Roku
like
and
that
watch the
idea.
comic.
I don't. Because here's my
I've
problem. I find watching and like with the time set on like Roku or anything, I find it just I haven't messed with it outside of like using it on my computer, but I find it so infuriating to like try to watch on my read comics without clicking on my computer because invariably I'll either finish a panel too like super early or I'll like not finish it in time.
yeah, I have too many ooh shiny moments to use autoplay.
Well, there are times to use autoplay though, like if you're a faithful book club person, like for Matt's book club on a Sunday night. Many a time my hide's been saved, and I've been able to get in and be the most participant for the one that mostly use it because of the Roku, where I'll just put it on like those horrible Nightwing issues, Nathan.
I remember that. You guys, Donnell is still salty about those Nightwing issues, which, by the way, I read them. They weren't that bad. They weren't great, but they weren't that bad.
Well, no, number one, the artwork was hideous, but the thing
Yes, it
that
was.
kills me most with it is he's got no place to put his weapons. It just kills me where he pulls out all these giant weapons. It's like, where was
You know what that reminds me of? Are you guys up to date on Justice League? Not the one,
I am?
not like the year, like the current, not the year behind DCU. Justice League Snyder?
Well, I mean, the year behind is where I'm current.
Okay. Well, can I just spoil this one great moment?
Oh, go ahead.
So, do you guys all know who Jor-El is?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't know who Jor-El is, tell me now, or forever hold your
I have
tongue.
no idea. Jaru, what's a Jaru? And I've been living this stuff for 50 years.
Jor-El. You all know who Jor-El is?
Maybe I'm not connecting the dots. Who is he?
Have you seen the starfish who becomes Robin?
The starfish who becomes Robin.
Uh-oh. Okay. Can someone tell me break this to him?
Starfish that becomes Robin. Are you talking about the villain that's
No.
that got blown up?
Yes, that guy. He has a child who thinks Batman's his father and becomes Robin. And then he
Okay,
takes
I
on
got
the
it.
entire Justice Legion of Doom on his own and like pulls
And
out
that
this
all happens
random
because the starfish
giant
blew up earlier.
that's like he pulls out like this he's like super tiny and he pulls out like this giant weapon that's like some ray gun and just like blasts the entire legion and like catches them all off guard and like sends them flying. And it's such a good moment. Sorry, I just spoiled who Jaro is for you guys. I don't feel sorry. Look it up, Jaro, Robin, when you get the chance.
But to explain
Jarro,
again,
and look at the costume. Beautiful.
so is he born because his dad was blown up?
I don't understand it. I just know he thinks Batman's his father, and that's all I care to think about.
Was born because Scott Snyder wanted to put a starfish in a Robin costume.
Exactly. That's the only reason.
That's Scott Snyder. He is so obsessed with the ocean and all that. Oh my God.
Is he really?
Yeah, he has some of his own fiction he did before he came to DC that was
Uh,
dealing with
that
like
makes sense.
terror under the water and all.
Do you guys have anything else you guys want to say on Titans episode 6 before we move on?
I'm glad Jason's not dead. I cannot believe how the now defunct DC Universe community
God.
is obsessed with that vote on Jason.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's not the DC Universe community, okay? Let's get this straight. Not a single name who's posted about it have I met, except for like 2. And like in the DC Universe community. What it
You mean
is,
it's all these people that are coming in afterwards?
so what it is you have websites like IGN and all these like Newsarama and all these big comic websites which posted about the poll because they wanted to kill Jason by like 0.1% or something ridiculously close.
No, it was 50-50. Half the people want him dead. The last time I looked at the poll.
It was 51-49 last I checked.
Crazy.
But it's so
Wait,
close.
now we know how you voted.
What?
Now we know how you voted.
I voted to save Jason.
Me too.
But no, because
terrible.
I don't want him dying yet. But
what did I see somewhere?
Websites...
Somebody was saying it was Bleeding Cool that says, "Oh, great, have a vote on killing someone that's not even an adult yet."
So, so here's what's going on. Okay, these websites like IGN posted about this poll, and what's weird is this is the second time they posted about it in a different story. Because originally it was just a fun like, would you call to kill? Now it's like there's a story reason to do it, but it won't affect the outcome of the story. He was going to save even if 100% of people wanted him dead. But like people are just like it was like the perfect PR move, and all these news websites ate it up. And I don't know why, they just did. And then everyone's coming on the community being like, "Don't kill Jason!" or "Please kill him!" And it's just like the people who've never been on the ECU community, might not even have watched Titans, are all up in arms about this. Like I almost
don't want anyone dead, obviously, but as a character, he's not a real desirable guy yet. He's quite the rascal still.
I mean, there's one character I wouldn't mind dying, but
he reminds me of Damien.
Really?
He has that same irascible, I don't care if anyone likes me, I'm just going to say what's on my mind.
Yeah, I can see it. I think the big difference between the two is Jason is like talented and smart. No, Damien is talented and smart, but over arrogant. Jason is just like overly dark. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, we're all there. We're all seeing it, and we're all hoping Jason will slowly warm up a little. Unfortunately, he's going to twist everybody around him.
I guess. I don't think.
Well, look what we've done to you, Nathan.
What have you done to me?
You've had a year of exposure to all these fans of DC. You're not the person you were a year ago.
I'm not that far away. I work harder for the community, but that's about the extent of it. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on, you guys. That was a long conversation. Okay, so let's talk about comics. This week on DCU, we got Green Lanterns number 56, Unexpected number 5, Adventures of the Super Sons number 3, Batman number 56, Curse of the Brimstone number 7, Deathstroke number 36, Green Arrow number 45, Harley Quinn number 51, Justice League number 9, Nightwing number 50, Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark, Witching Hour number 1, and newly digitized, we have Deadman number 4, Detective Comics number 328, Doom Patrol 2001 number 2, Our Man number 25, House of Mystery number 182, House of Secrets number 113, Superman number 6, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane number 16, Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen number 3, and this one actually surprised me, the never before released Joker number 10. How do you feel about having a comic that's never been released before on DC Universe?
Well, I understand that the Joker appeared in some kind of cavalcade, like in 1980, some almost not published at all comic that had all the stuff that had been affected by the implosion that happened around the time of Joker 9. And then it appeared in an omnibus recently, I guess. But Wow. Yeah, I made sure to read that one. How hilarious that Elton John shows up as the devil.
Wait, what?
I posted it on the Discord. It's hilarious.
Elton John posts as the devil?
Yeah, well, the devil appears as Elton John to the Joker, yeah.
What? I don't know how to feel about this.
It was just hilarious. You just got to read it. Very well written. Absolutely. I mean,
It's
kind
well
of
written?
like pre-ambush bug.
Wait, it's well written?
Well, it's fun. I mean, I told New 52 and JL not to look at it because, basically Joker defeats everybody sitting there holding an unconscious Wonder Woman.
Dang, where is New 52 when you need her? Man, I really need her to, preface what Witching Hour is, because I haven't read it yet. But no, she's not here this week. But we have two wonderful people on. Did you guys read any comics this week? Any comics, not just the ones out this week.
So I just today I started and finished reading Paul Dini's Harley Loves Joker, which was
what'd you think of it?
I liked it. It was it's funny because it was clearly not written to be read in one sitting, because there's the second issue has about 3 pages of just recap of the first issue. But
is this
it was good. It was the 2-issue miniseries from
okay, that's
last year,
what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds accurate. So, what's it about? Well, Harley and Joker, obviously. But, what's its portrayal of the relationship? Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one?
I liked it because it wasn't exactly a positive view on the relationship, but it also in the end, Harley still goes back with Joker. It doesn't. Nothing really changes, even though she has an active conversation with her psyche, and there's this really cool scene that I really like, where it's Harley Quinn in her regular jester outfit on the therapist couch, and then Dr. Harleen Quinzel talking to her and going through the therapist meeting, their meeting, and Harleen is just getting so frustrated with Harley because Harley's going, Joker's got this, plan because he's the Joker and he's always got a plan. And there's this new super criminal in Gotham. It doesn't really matter, but Joker's working with her and seems to be favoring her over Harley. And Harley's just getting shoved to the side. Joker doesn't care about her anymore, basically using her like a tool. And the psychiatrist Harleen is just fed up with it and wants Harley to leave Joker. She's pushing Harley as hard as she can, and Harley's just so enthralled in the Joker, and she's convinced that she will still be able to get Joker to love her. And finally the psychiatrist Harleen gets up, changes her clothes into more of the New 52 style Harley, and then just walks away and just leaves Harley to kind of sit with.
So does it feel so what you're saying is it feels purposeful, right? This idea that what's happening is Harley feels like she's trapped in this abusive relationship, right?
Yeah, Joker's almost a drug to her that she's hooked on and can't get off.
So
and it feels like it's setting
something up.
Yeah, it feels like it's setting her up to leave Joker at some point, but not yet.
That pisses me off, you guys. Just DC, just let Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn get engaged. And I know they just did it in Injustice or whatever. But like, just let the couple like have their moment to shine. They've been like off and on for ages, and if they want to be more inclusive, which it seems to be what's going on with 5G, I really want them to engage this relationship. No more soft like making a Harley Quinn Poison Ivy series and then not having their relationship be the spotlight, not having them make out or like talk about their love for each other or any of that. And guys, I'm so pissed.
But that doesn't seem to be Humphrey's angle. Have you been, on the stuff we've been reading of Humphrey's?
Humphreys has a positive, but it's like they're not. No, but it's like but Humphreys isn't really continuity, if that makes sense. Like, I wish I could say it was continuity, but it's definitely not. Developments that happen in Harley Quinn don't happen anywhere else.
With, what was the name of that? Is it Genie DC or whatever, the continuity guy?
I don't know. No, but I know Harley Quinn just doesn't take place in continuity. Like, people act like it does, but there's no sign it does. It's any time, like, it's never tied in with anything. And it's Year of the Villain tie-in. It's literally.
Apocalypse.
She was on what?
He was on Apocalypse. I mean, it's got to be.
Okay, but Apocalypse is under the control of Superman right now. So it's not. Yeah. So
well,
I mean,
we're not going to solve DC's wild continuity issues here. That's for sure.
Okay, this isn't even this is a recent development. Like less than a year ago, Superman became the leader of Apocalypse. With or helps create remove Darkseid from power. And while I guess in the Harley Quinn opening arc of Sam Humphrey's run, Darkseid's not in power, it's certainly not what's going on here. And let's move on to a topic that makes me happier. Nightwing number 50. Nightwing is shot in the head, loses his memories. That's not very happy. What about
I was gonna say, how is this
Heroes in Crisis number 1? People die. What about Green Arrow number 45? Oh, it deals with the tragedy of Roy's death. What about Batman number 56? Oh, that deals with the tragedy of Nightwing dying. Uh-oh. What about, I think we're out of comics, you guys.
Well, you see, that's why you got to go with me to the past. So, Superman number 6 was an ingenious comic. Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, she gets kryptonite vision and is hurting Superman with it. And he just can't see her anymore because it's a toxic relationship. And then, Jimmy Olsen number 3 had lots of fun stuff, too. That's where you got to go if you want to feel positive.
Tornado, how does that sound?
Sorry, you cut out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, how does that sound? Hanging out.
In fact, that was just my read for the week. Was the last issue of Heroes in Crisis. I finally got to read the last of it. So
did it fix itself? Was it just all around a disaster? How do you feel?
I think it made sense. I felt really, really, really bad for Flash at the end. I really did.
I think the only way, I just think the only way they can justify the series is if Dr. Manhattan caused it to hurt the heroes and make them focus away from him. I think that's the only thing that makes sense at this point.
Look, I love Tom King, love his stuff, very adult, very good writer, lots of angst, really makes you think. But I got to tell you, if I were a DC hero and my agent called and said, "Hey, by the way, we're going to have Tom King take over your story," I'd be calling Marvel.
There was this one quote from Comic-Con, I'm trying to find it, that was hysterical, where King said, people have never hated a comic series I've written more than they hated Heroes in Crisis. And I was like, yeah, because it should have been the like interview panels, which like you see in the opening issue. There's like these great interview panels where like they talk about like a character's internal trauma. Those are really interesting and they're very fun. And some of them are really tragic. Some of them are funny. Some of them are in between. Most of them are just tragic. And I think it was Clay Mann who did the artwork, and he's so good at facial expressions. It's ridiculous. And I think it should have just been like 2 issues of just that. And I think it would have been fantastic.
That's what I was hoping for. I thought the idea of, oh, we've been running a sanctuary secretly, and then slowly peeling back the covers of that would have been a great slow burn. But instead, oh, did we mention there's murder going on?
Okay, here's the quote. Here you go. People effing hated it so much. I've never written something everyone hated, so that was a new experience. I loved Heroes in Crisis. The art is beautiful, and I got across the message that I wanted to get across, which is that we're all suffering and none of us are alone. I think a killer Wally was a tough hill for people to climb. Wally was my favorite Flash growing up. He was the Peter Parker of the DCU. It was tough on him because it was like a symbol of rebirth killing people. First off all, Wally didn't murder anyone. That doesn't happen. There's heroism in being vulnerable. To always say I'm strong is not to be strong. It's to be arrogant. If someone says that they hate something, it means that someone else loves it. When bad things happen to characters, it's earned in a way. When I read that script, I was like, oh, we have to do this. This is what Wally would do. This is how Wally broke. A lot of people were like, oh, Wally would never break like that. But that's kind of the point of the story. When you break, you do it out of character. That's what breaking is. People don't break in character. But I think that's fine. I think it's just such a hard thing for fans to listen to and like be okay with,
It's like they like the characters, but they don't, how would I put it, want to see, those, too human, vulnerable sides of them.
And they don't want to see him grow. They kind of like their heroes to stay where they are.
Yeah, it's like we all want to use comics as escapism, right? And
Yeah.
we also want to watch stuff on occasion, well, like the Joker movie that's out right? That deals a lot with the human condition. I haven't seen it. I'm not planning to watch it. I've gone through my own stuff. I don't need to watch somebody else go through crazy stuff too. And that's the thing with the comics. It's cool when it's deep, but at the same time, we're shelling out our money to forget about how horrible life is.
If the Joker won the Oscars, would you watch it?
I'm not touching it. It's just too
even
dark.
if it won the Oscars as like best film of the year.
It's just I'm doing great, having a great life right now. I just don't need to go into those kind of areas to take my mind.
That's fair. Speaking of character development, let's talk about 5G. So, I'm going to just lay out all the facts as we know them, and then we'll go from there. 1, DC released a timeline showing off Generation 1, 2, 3, and 4. The biggest development from the timeline is that Wonder Woman is now the first superhero in the DC universe, which is a cool development. I like where that's going. The second thing is Batman would be roughly in his 50s now. 50s, 60s. And along with Superman. So they're both getting old. Okay, that's another development. The third development is that a lot of people think this is what 5G means, which has been a rumor since well before the timeline was even announced to be in development. So that's the basic of 5G. The rumor is 5G is going to be a line-wide reboot, which will result in new characters taking over. So one of them is John taking over as Superman, Luke Fox taking over as Batman, Teen Lantern taking over as Green Lantern. I think they said no. We don't know who's taking over for Flash yet. I want to say it's Bart, but I don't think they've announced it. A lot of people think Cassie Sandsmark is going to take over as Wonder Woman. So its idea is like being like the legacy, and like these characters getting old, so they're going to retire. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think it's going to be more like an Ultimate Universe. but like instead of it being a different universe, it's going to be 10 years in the future, as Donnell was talking about earlier. And then on top of that, the timeline is important because they're gonna have a comic series or two, which deals with like the continuity of each of the generations, for the purpose of allowing like new fans to jump in and like get through the timeline quickly, if that makes sense.
Well, what I like about this is they're embracing their legacy. What I've been upset about with DC over and over is when they do a relaunch, like New 52, which I gobbled right up. I love the overall energy and creativity of New 52.
Really?
But
You
they
like New
basically
52?
wanted to just, yeah, and they just wanted to flush decades of great stories. I mean, I miss the Atomic Skull of the late 70s, for example. So what I love with this new theme, Nathan and folks, is they're actually now saying we're going to admit this stuff happened. We're going to say the comics published in the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s really did occur. And I think that's a really neat concept because it also opens up all kinds of new story ideas.
Yeah.
Because I remember that Don and I have had conversations like this in the past where, I mean, he knows I'm a huge JSA fan.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be cool if eventually, especially with the new Stargirl series coming out, if they would actually come out with a third generation JSA where instead of like doing a complete reboot and de-aging everybody again, what would the third generation of the JSA be like?
But do you want a third generation or do you want a new series for the first generation?
No, I mean, what I want to do, because if it's a third generation, the people that were the kids that were being mentored in the last one, what are they like? They'd be middle-aged and probably have teenage kids of their own.
Yeah.
That are the new team, high school and college stage kids that are those people's kids. And now they're the mentors, like, the first generation was to them. What would the kids be like? What kind of issues would they deal with today versus back when they were writing that in like the 90s and early 2000s?
But
Well, I think that's what they're doing with Stargirl, right? So Stargirl is going to have that feeling, apparently, on the TV show. You're going to have the older characters that are there more to support her rather than go out on the missions. And I think your idea could be the same thing.
Yeah, but again, you're, de-aging a character that, if you're following the proper timeline, should be middle-aged now. She'd be like the mom now if they weren't, if they didn't keep de-aging her back to being a teenager, she'd probably be in her late 30s, early 40s.
I mean, Believe
it or not, Archie Comics just did this, with the Mighty Crusaders, right? That's been around since like the 60s. I was a 10-year-old kid reading that stuff back in the 60s. Well, with the Mighty Crusaders, just in the past year or so, they've done exactly what you're talking about, Aurora, where you've got where they kind of admit all that time going, and now you got the kids kind of thing, and you've got the older people that were the superheroes are now in their 60s in executive type positions.
Okay, so here's the question. Okay, did it work? Did the Mighty Crusaders work? Was it good? And I think that's where
I'm liking what I'm reading so far on Comixology Unlimited. Okay. It seems to be reading pretty well.
Hey, real quick.
I think a lot of it.
Yeah. TornadoSoup, do you have any thoughts? Because we got to move on because we're running out of time.
I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah, I don't know. If I both like this idea and dislike this idea.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't. There's a lot of pluses and minuses with this. Like if we do get a new JSA series, or they could do, because JSA has always been about, or at least has been for a while, about legacies, and reinfusing that into the DC universe would really allow them to rise to prominence, and it would be really cool to see. I don't. Yeah, I'm also not. I don't know. When you put too much time stuff into comics, it can start messing with stuff. Because if we go by real time, then Batman's dead by now. He was
Yeah.
like you figure
Yeah.
he was 25 to 30 in Detective Comics number 27. If this has been going on for 80 years, he's dead. Superman might be alive, but Lois is dead.
Well,
Wonder
even
Woman's
in
probably
parts
still.
of the JSA comics, yes, and the later series, there were parts of it where the original Batman and Superman were dead.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, more breaking news while we're talking about 5G. I just did some research. Apparently, 5G is going to be kicked off by a DC crisis. Shocker. I'm sure you're all so shocked.
Let's make sure Morrison right.
And the first of the 5G titles will begin with Wonder Woman in November 2020, apparently.
Sounds like rumors, though, right?
Yeah, this is all rumors. But I'm sure all of you are so shocked the crisis is coming. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since the last real crisis.
You know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do it to coincide with the one on CW in a month.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think they were ready for that. I think they still need to do a bunch of build up to the crisis. If we're being honest, I think Year of the Villain's important.
He had to finish Doomsday Clock first.
Yeah, exactly.
So in some of these things, like I said, I just used the JSA thing for example. I mean, at the end of that, they were, in the strips, they were implying, okay, certain people eventually end up together and have kids. Like, say, for example, Stargirl and Atom Smasher are eventually supposed to get married and have a few kids. Like I said, I'm curious, what are their kids like? Think of, at the end of that series, some of the things they left hanging, like Black Adam, when they left him a statue. And then that never got resolved. Does he get loose eventually? Because I know that eventually Osiris ends up waking Isis up. But whatever happened to him? Does he ever get out of that mess? What happens if he does?
Yeah, I don't. DC's kind of in a rough state right now. I mean, I'm really excited about what's going on right now with Year of the Villain and the Infected, and how they're all going to come together in this really cool way with Hell's Arisen, which I think will be the countdown to the crisis. That's my prediction. And then Snyder is going to write the crisis.
I'm having a crisis hearing about all.
Because it would be amusing as all get out if it's been like 20 or 30 years since Black Adam got frozen and a couple of the new JSA kids wake him up by accident.
And this is just Aurora's just writing the story for herself.
I got to remind everybody, time. We're actually at the 1 hour minute. We got to talk
we're at the hour mark. Okay.
Wow.
Well, we have to talk about one more announcement, and then we're going to do our TV report super quick, and then we're done. So I actually need to find this announcement because they changed how they're doing it. Here you go. I found it. So you guys, if you haven't noticed yet, the DC Universe community is no longer available to access. Okay? Applejack has said the following about the DC Universe. DC Universe is going dark. It has been many moons and a generous number of blood tears. What is a blood tear? Applejack, come on. You got this. You can use words that blood and tears instead of blood tears, whatever. But it's all been worth it as the threshold of the new community appears on the horizon. Read on to learn important dates and to watch and what you have to look forward to. By the way, when she says read on, she's really saying listen on, because that's what we're doing. So on October 9th, the DC Universe shut down. However, if you haven't downloaded the new DC Universe update on your mobile devices, you can still access the DC Universe community. But on October 14th, everyone gets it shut down. So just that's that. And then Wednesday, October 23rd, we're back and better than ever with Community 2.0's launch date is officially October 23rd. Of course, we did predict this last week. And Community Week will be going on from October 23rd to Wednesday, October 30th. And as part of Community Week, you can listen to our interviewing with Applejack on Saturday, the 26th. There you go. Did you see that plug? I'm really proud of that. And then there's all sorts of stuff about what's coming up. But basically, DC Universe is in its final stages of before Community 2.0. So how do you feel about this? Go. Aurora.
I'm not part of the beta, so I have no idea. I do know the community in its first stage did drive me a little bit nuts. It was very difficult to find things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think it was very functional. I'm so used to message forums being a lot more concise, and it took a lot of hunting around to find things, or things that you'd been keeping an eye on, you'd have to go back and hunt them up again. And
yeah,
I think it really, really needs a good streamlining.
Yeah, so here are some of the features that are coming. Enjoy a sleek, updated user interface for both desktop and mobile. Don't miss a beat with a robust notification system. Edit your posts. Earn custom badges. Exclusive emoji packs. DC emoji packs, you guys. That's worth celebration. Join a club or start your own. Peruse our community activities calendar. Get to know your fellow members in a private member lounge. Crowd build definitive wikis of timelines and histories you're most passionate about. Enjoy infinitely easier image uploading. Express yourself with rich text editing and formatting. And build polls right in your topics. And take it outside with direct messaging. So this is all stuff Applejack has said. I can't actually talk about any of these features because I'm in the beta and I'm under NDA. So I'm not gonna discuss any of this. But you guys go ahead.
I mean, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see where this goes. For right now, I'm having fun going through the community while I can still get on, and just watching it devolve into numerous threads about Jason Todd living and dying. Because there's like 12 that I just passed going through on my phone right now.
Yep, and they're all like brand new too. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Why Jason Todd should live in Titans. It's too early for him to die. Jason should live. In all caps, I believe he should live.
Oh my god.
How about we compromise? Jason Todd must live with 3 exclamation points.
I love the why don't we compromise? I love the why don't we compromise? Because it's like, why don't we just half kill him? He can like lose half of his body and half it live, and he'll become a zombie.
I think that one was saying wait until season 3 to kill him.
I'm having Princess Bride flashbacks all of a sudden. He's only half dead.
Of course, Princess Bride is really weird. You know what else is weird? The title, Down the Rabbit Hole. For more information, here is your weekly TV report. Hit it, Dawn. Hit it, Dawn.
Oh, sorry, I had mute on. So we got Batwoman episode 2.
No. You gotta do your sound cue.
You mean the
Yeah. So this week on Sunday, we have Batwoman episode 2, Down the Rabbit Hole. Supergirl episode 2, Stranger Beside Me. Black Lightning episode 2, The Book of Occupation, chapter 2. Flash episode 2, A Flash of Lightning, and Arrow episode 1, Starling City. Have you guys been watching any of these TV shows?
Batwoman. I did catch Batwoman.
I have not had a chance yet.
Okay, Dawn, score Batwoman out of 10. Go.
Oh, okay. I'll give her an easy 7.
Okay, 2 sentences explaining why.
All right. Basic story, very compelling. Nice job with setting up a lot of anti-hero stuff like her dad. And also believable as to why she would have the skill set she has. And a very compelling, you feel sorry for her. You feel empathy for tough knocks she gets. We've all had that where we thought we should have been the one that was hired for a position, that kind of thing. And she's gone through that thing of, man, they didn't think I was the best thing since sliced bread. What's going on here? It's great.
Okay.
The costume
Dawn,
drives me crazy at this.
2 sentences. Also, I love that your strategy. I love your strategy. You just keep adding and you'll just keep going with your 2 sentences. But you eventually ran out. What was that laugh? If I could immediately edit, I would just play that laugh over and over again. It's like, ha! It sounded like that. I saw Supergirl episode 2 or episode 1. It was really fun, you guys. Lena Luthor and Supergirl have such an interesting relationship this season, and I thought they were gonna throw away all the possible character development, but instead I'm more excited about where it went. The other thing to watch out for is Tuesday is your big Flash and Arrow episodes. With Arrow getting a season premiere for its season finale, you guys. This was my second most anticipated series of the year. Batwoman won it, but Arrow was my favorite, most anticipated series. But I'm really excited the most for Flash episode 2, which is all about Barry trying to stop the crisis that he's going to die, which he found out about last episode. So, including we're going to see Jay return. So, yay, that's some fun. So, that's all the time we have for news, you guys. Wait, do you guys want to say anything else before we end it?
No, it's just I'm startled that we keep being able to pull off this podcast week after week. Hopefully I can get my cartoon strip out as well.
You guys, this podcast only works because you guys come on and join me. I can't do a one-man show. And look, if we keep this up, Applejack will have no choice but to have an interview with us every single week. Wouldn't that be so cool? It'll never happen.
Yeah, like a 5-minute segment.
That's just Applejack every day, 5 minutes.
Sorry, Applejack. Time's up. You've been moderated.
Like Applejack mini interview. It's like office hours condensed version. Well, that's all that we have. The time we have for this week. We are on Podbean, Google Play, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So subscribe on those services. We are not on Apple Play because the new iPhone 11 is causing zombies to invade the world. That is fake news, you guys. I'm just going to come up with excuses. That's why we're not on Apple Play or Apple Podcasts or whatever it's called. So that's all. We hope you enjoyed. Oh, real quick. Remember, interview with Applejack. Everyone say bye very slowly.
Okay, well,
Bye.
goodbye, everyone.